It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I would never do that to you guys. It is a Finish Strong Friday. Maybe one of the biggest Finish Strong Fridays ever. Why? Because we got the holiday weekend coming up. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Sunday's Christmas. Monday, a lot of you have off. Finish today strong if you are working so that you feel great about it the whole rest of the weekend. You know that you took care of business. You finished the work week strong. Love it. It's a Picks Friday. Absolutely love doing Picks Friday for you guys. And my favorite part about it is it's a Winners Friday.
I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Well, I want people that want to win because I like giving you stuff. And I also appreciate those of you that realize we kind of need your help to grow this network, to grow these shows. And so any little thing you do, it helps. Like Jim Mullins had an absolutely awesome either reply or quote tweet on Twitter to @RossTuckerPod about the Greg Cosell episode, how much he loves it, how everybody should listen to it. Awesome. Loved it, Jim. Let me know if you want a signed picture or a press pass. I got an amazing assortment of press passes from this season. I'll go over them next week. And then, of course, you can always get a signed football card if you want as well. Sponsor confirmation email winner is amazing. Eileen Hartman this week sent me both an Uncommon Goods sponsor confirmation email as well as a First Leaf confirmation email. So it's really simple. You take advantage of any of the sponsors you hear me say on the show, or just go to the sponsors tab at rosstucker.com and see what you need for whatever reason or what you might want to try. Use the code, email it to me, ross@rosstucker.com. You definitely get to ask me a question I'll answer on the air, but then you also have a great chance to win a little something like Eileen just did. Let me know what you want, Eileen. And then the YouTube shout out goes to George Lopez. I don't think it's like the famous George Lopez. I think it's a different George Lopez. He commented on one of the YouTube videos, and I think he just said first comment. But that's okay. Shows me you're ready, George. Shows me you're ready to try to win. YouTube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, also we'll start with last night where Zach Wilson was benched for Chris Devler in a 19-3 loss to the Jaguars, who are now firmly in the playoff hunt.
Well, they are firmly in the playoff hunt, and now the Jets very much are on the outside looking in. I didn't understand throughout the week why money was coming in on the Jets, and people thought the Jets would win. Maybe it's because Trevor Lawrence played so poorly in the rain in Philadelphia. Other than that, I'm not quite sure. Of course, now I look at it and wish I had taken the Jags in hindsight, but when it's only like a 1-point spread, it ended up being where the Jets were favored by like 2.5. Jags didn't have Trayvon Walker. Jets get off to an awesome start as Quinnen Williams hits Trevor Lawrence, strips the ball, I don't know, like third play of the game. Jets get it, but they have to settle for a field goal. That was the only points the New York Jets got the entire game. Like 2 minutes into the game, and they hadn't even moved the ball. In fact, they might have gone backwards on the drive after the Quinnen Williams strip sack. The reality is the Jets defense deserves better. The Jets fans deserve better. I mean, it had to be painful for them to watch the guy taking one pick ahead of Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, play well. It's kind of like Greg Cosell said yesterday. Lawrence knew where to go with the football. He was decisive. He used his legs really well. Rushed for over 50 yards, and a lot of those were critical, especially in bad weather. Gosh, that is such an advantage to have a quarterback that can get some first downs with their legs. And Lawrence is about as fast. Tell me if this makes sense. He's about as fast of a super tall quarterback as we've ever seen. I mean, he's fast, even though he's super tall. It's wild. Travis Etienne, explosive. Went over 1,000 yards for the season. Good for him. Zach Wilson, just like Trevor Lawrence, who Greg said was decisive, Zach Wilson's exactly who Greg said he is. Doesn't really see the blitz that well. Doesn't really know where to go with the ball. He made a couple of good throws, but it's few and far between. He just doesn't look comfortable. Doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, to be honest with you. You know, heavy rain and weather a factor, sure. They were. But the Jags still moved the ball much better than the Jets, who eventually benched Zach Wilson for Chris Streveler, CFL legend, NFL preseason legend. He was awesome, actually, in that Jets-Eagles preseason game this year that I called. And his first drive, I think he went longer than Zach Wilson had gotten in total yards the whole night. It's a shame. I think it's over for Zach Wilson with the Jets. I just don't think they're going to be able to go back to him. And I think he's kind of ruined mentally now. It's unfortunate. Quite frankly, the Jets need Mike White back as soon as possible. But even now, it might be too late. It's a shame. I found myself like mad at the Bills last night watching the game because them hurting Mike White affected my viewing enjoyment. You guys know I love the Bills, but come on, guys. Let me at least watch a competent quarterback. Speaking of competent, how about Evan Ingram? Huge game for the Jags. Career high, over 100 yards in the stadium he used to play in for the Giants. Now that, the Jags made a bunch of big money signings. That was not a big money signing, but that was very, very helpful. Speaking of big money, you don't need to spend big money or put in hours of research to build a workout routine. The Fitbod app, which, by the way, I've already gotten a couple tweets and emails from you guys, which I love, creates a workout routine that adapts as you improve and uses the equipment you already have. So you can reach the next level without burning through all your free time or cash. Big, big fan of this. I've come to the conclusion that it's really hard to not plateau unless you're changing things up. You have to change up your workouts. Fitbod's algorithm changes and updates your fitness plan as you go. You just add in your equipment, pick a goal, and they create a routine for you. Join Fitbod today and build a routine that grows with you without slimming down your wallet. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free at our link in the description below or go to fitbod.me/Ross. That's the link in the description or fitbod.me/Ross.
Tuck's Takes.
Before we get to the picks, a major announcement from the NFL with a 7-year deal with YouTube for Sunday tickets starting next year.
I think that's good because now you don't have to have DirecTV. You don't have to buy DirecTV to have Sunday ticket. To have Sunday ticket. So I think that's a positive that you can get it now on YouTube. I think more people will have access to it. Everybody can get that. Not everybody wanted to get DirecTV. So I think that's a positive. Although I've never been a Sunday ticket guy because I've never really had to be because I'm either watching either like the Eagles or the big national game or the red zone for the most part, or then I watch them back on NFL Plus. So it's more for out-of-market people that really want to watch their team.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
We will start with the Atlanta Falcons at the Baltimore Ravens.
Looks like Tyler Huntley is healthy and he'll be good to go. Has not been pretty for the Ravens. You know, that being said, they win this game, and I think they will. They're still 10-5. Still pretty good. The problem is the Bengals are really good. Although the Ravens still have a shot. They got to win out, and they got another head-to-head game against the Bengals. They got to win that one. And then they'll have swept them, and they'll have the same record. Plus, the Bengals still have to play the Bills. So the Ravens are still very much in this thing. Got to take advantage of the rookie quarterback, Desmond Ridder, on the road. That defense, I think, will get after him. Lower scoring game. A lot of these games going to be really cold in the Northeast and in the Midwest. Really cold. That Steelers game I'm calling Saturday night, going to be freezing. Please check me out as you're driving home from any type of Christmas Eve party or whatever. At any rate, I like the Ravens lower scoring game. Take care of business. 17-13 Baltimore.
The Detroit Lions are at the Carolina Panthers.
I like Detroit. I just think they've got a lot of momentum right now. This is a dangerous game for them, though. You know, these are the type of games people are expecting them to win now. The Lions aren't and haven't been in a position a lot in their history where people like expect them to win certain games. So that's not ideal for them. I think this is going to be tough. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to come to play. I'll take the Lions, but this is going to be 20-17, 23-20. This is not going to be easy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they blow them out, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
The Buffalo Bills are at the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they are. I like the Bills, although, as I said yesterday on Buffalo radio, dangerous game. I was really impressed by the Bears against the Eagles. They stopped the run. They've got good guys in the secondary, young guys, Johnson, Gordon, Brisker. Fields is obviously a freak. It's not an easy matchup for the Bills. I think the Bears are going to come to play again. It's funny, I see CHI and I think Chiefs. I think the Bears are going to come to play again. Ultimately, though, I do think Josh Allen, I mean, the Bills can't lose this game. But I think it's a similar score to that game between the Eagles and the Bears. I'm going to say 24-21. The Bills, maybe 24-21, 24-20. Bills find a way to get it done.
New Orleans or Nolans Saints are at the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, I like that. You know what that was? For those of you who don't listen to the College Draft podcast, that was called Crossover by Jack. He's crossing over between the two shows where Emory Hunt, who's from New Orleans, said it's not New Orleans, but also if you're actually from there, nobody says Nolans. It's New Orleans. New Orleans. So anyway, thought that was kind of funny. I like it, Jack. Going with the Browns. Browns run game. Browns at home. The Saints, like no Olave, no Jarvis Landry. It's supposed to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds. I saw someone suggest online that the Saints should just start Taysom Hill at quarterback in the game. And they're probably right. They probably should start Taysom Hill and try to run the crap out of the ball against a bad Browns run defense that for some reason Greg Roman and the Ravens didn't continue to attack last week.
You got a score prediction there?
Yes, thank you, Jack. 13-10 Browns.
Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Kansas City Chiefs.
So I like the Chiefs, but not by as much as everybody else seems to like them by. I think this is going to be a good game. The Chiefs aren't playing that well. Pro Bowl quarterback Geno Smith still is playing really well. The Seahawks, desperate for a win, and they're better than the Broncos. They're better than the Texans, the last two teams that took the Chiefs to the edge. I know that was on the road, but I think this is a good game. I'm going to say higher scoring game. Let's get entertaining. 30-27, the Chiefs pulled off against the Seahawks in a close one.
New York Giants are at the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. So I like the Vikings to win the game because I think it'll be close. And the Vikings are what now? 10-0 in one-score games this year, which is incredible. Although the Giants have been really good in one-score games also. So this is like a one-score wonder against a one-score wonder, so to speak, in terms of this game. I'll take the Vikings. If they pick up where they left off against the Colts, heck, they'll roll the Giants. I don't know that that'll happen. I think it's a good game. Looks like we'll have a bunch of good games, actually, because I keep saying that. Detroit, Carolina, Buffalo, Chicago, Cleveland, New Orleans, Kansas City, Seattle. I think we're in store for a really good red zone, really good witching hour. Now, this is indoors. So I'll say Vikings 24, Giants 20, something like that.
Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals with the New England Patriots.
It would be very Patriots to then somehow win this game. Like blow the game against the Raiders the way they did, but then come back and find a way to win this game. I can't do it. Not the way the Bengals have been playing as of late. Can't do it. And if the Patriots lose this one, there's a pretty good chance they'll have a losing record, because then they would be 7-8, 2 games to go. One of those games is another game against the Bills. And this one, I think, is in Buffalo. Good luck to the Patriots. I'll take the Bengals. I do have faith the Patriots will keep it close. But late in the game, I just have so much more confidence in Joe Burrow than I do in Mac Jones. I mean, I think I have more faith in how the Bengals are coached than how the Patriots are coached. Go ahead and give me all the Bengals 20-17 over the Patriots.
The Houston Texans are at the Tennessee Titans.
Ryan Tannehill has been ruled out for this game. The last time they played him, the Titans ran him over with Derrick Henry. And this time they'll have Malik Willis to run as well. And I'm sure they'll try to run it down their throat. I got to tell you, I think the Texans win the game. I think the Titans are kind of cooked. I think they know that Malik Willis isn't really ready, doesn't really know what he's doing out there. And I think the Texans finally get the win that they've been banging on, trying to get the last couple weeks. We have an opportunity to let the doggies out. Davis Mills, Lovie Smith, they can win one more game and still get the number 1 overall pick. I think it's this game against the team that used to reside in Houston. Let's say 16-13. Texans win. Doggies, Jack.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Who let the dogs out?
Next is the Washington Commanders at the San Francisco 49ers.
So I like the fact that Chase Young is coming back to play. They only have 3 games left. They could have just been like, you know what? Let's wait till next year. Let's give it a whole lot more time. But they're still fighting for a playoff berth, and they feel like he's ready. So they're going to give him this opportunity. And I hope he makes the most of it. I hope he stays healthy, plays well. But I can't pick Heineke and the Commanders to win in San Francisco. Can't do it. San Francisco coming off 10 days, extra time to kind of rest and prepare. Although, what's really at stake for the Niners? I guess if they keep winning, they can be the number 2 seed instead of the number 3 seed, which enables them to have a second home playoff game. That's probably of consequence. That's probably they'd rather play the Vikings, if it comes down to it, in San Francisco as opposed to in Minnesota. So they need to keep winning or try to keep winning. And I'm a believer in Purdy so far, although this will be, I think, the best defense he's gone against in Washington. Good game again, but the Niners are kind of rolling right now, man. I can't pick the Commanders to win this game. Let's go Niners. Gosh, that's the same time as the Eagles-Cowboys too. That's unfortunate. 2 kind of good games at the same time. Niners 23, Commanders 16.
The Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys.
America's team against America's quarterback. The Cowboys. So this is a really interesting matchup because Gardner Minshew's kind of good. And I think he's going to come out and play well. I know this much. I can guarantee you he thinks he's going to come out and play well. Very confident young man from having spoken with him. And this will be the best guys around him he's ever had in his life. His life. Those receivers, the O-line. You wonder if there's a self-conscious or subconscious is the right word, let down from the Cowboys a little bit in this game or not. Because it's like, oh, they don't have Hurts. You better not do that, Cowboys. I'm just telling you. Eagles can kind of play free and clear, whereas it feels like the pressure now is on the Cowboys. With Minshew in there, it kind of works out perfectly for the Eagles. I'll take the Cowboys, Jack, but this is going to be a barn burner, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Eagles win the game 24-23 Cowboys in an awesome football game on Christmas Eve.
Next is the Las Vegas Raiders, Pittsburgh Steelers, a game that you'll be at.
I will be. Supposed to be so cold, dude. Like in the negatives, wind chill. Thank goodness I'm in the booth and not on the sideline. Although typically, you still open up the window in the booth, so you're still getting all that cold air. Hard to know really what to expect from Kenny Pickett. He missed last week with the concussion, his second concussion of the season, by the way. Not great for a young player. It's funny because there's been so much talk in the pre-draft process about Kenny Pickett's hands and hand size. And of course, I had to tweet multiple times that hundreds of, I don't want to use the word moron. What's a kind way to say people that aren't real bright, Jack?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of I don't know. I don't really have one.
That hundreds of gullible, I'll say gullible, hundreds of gullible people thought I was being serious when I said Kenny Pickett, his hands are way too small to play in a cold weather city like Pittsburgh after he had just played there in college for 6 years. But we'll see. Some people were like, oh, yeah, but he hasn't played like in a late December game. Well, here we go, bro. Can't get any colder than this. And I like the Steelers. They've won 3 out of 4. The only loss was Trubisky throwing 3 picks, and they lose 16-14 to the Ravens. So, yeah, I like the Steelers in this matchup against the Raiders. But this also should be a really good game. I don't know that I picture there being that many points. The Steelers have held 4 teams in a row to 17 or less. So let's keep it there. Let's go even less than that with the weather like it is. 17-13 Steelers.
The Green Bay Packers are at the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. So by far the best of the games on Christmas. By far. And I'm looking forward to this one. Packers are not out of this thing, man. Especially since I think they play the Lions again. Don't they, Jack? One more time. I think they play the Lions in Green Bay. So they get a real opportunity here. This is the tough one. This is the one they need to win. I don't think they will. I mean, this would be bad for the Dolphins. Dolphins lose 4 in a row, including at home to the Pack. That would not be a good look for the Dolphins. I don't think it happens. I think they win, but I think the Packers come out guns blazing. I think this is an awesome, awesome football game. Let's say 27-24 Dolphins. Tua gets it done in dramatic fashion late, and the Dolphins get a 9th win, which puts them in a very good spot for getting the playoff berth.
So before they do play the Lions and then the Minnesota Vikings as well. So a couple NFC North battles before they head into the postseason. But our next game is the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Rams.
Russell Wilson's back. How bad is it that Russell Wilson's back? And I don't know if that helps the Broncos' chances or hurts them. I mean, that's pretty amazing, right? I know this much. To watch this game, Rams, Broncos, make sure you have your Labatt Blue Light with you. This is not going to be very entertaining. There's no better way to watch a boring game than with the pristine Canadian goodness of a cold Labatt Blue Light in your hand. Stock up, be the MVP of your tailgate, share a Labatt on game day with your crew. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. You know, now the Rams lost Skoranek and Brian Allen, their center. I'm still taking the Rams. How sad is that? I have more faith in Baker Mayfield than Russell Wilson in this game. This is nuts. 20-17. No. 17-14. Rams, doggies.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, the Bucs have to win this game. I mean, it's Trace McSorley making his first start. It's Christmas night. I mean, come on, Brady and the Bucs. You can't lose this. You can't lose to Trace McSorley making his first start on Christmas night. Love Trace McSorley and actually think the Cardinals will use his legs a little bit to try to get this win. Maybe Kingsbury trying to save his job with a standalone primetime win. That would certainly help. I can't pick that to happen. Sorry. Bucs 24, Cardinals 14. Bucs win by 10. If you had to lock one up, I'd probably lock that one up, Jack.
Your survivor / knockout / whatever you call it, pick of the week.
We will wrap things up with the Los Angeles Chargers at the Indianapolis Colts.
So the Chargers, this is the kind of game that they would lose other years. Please don't let that happen, Chargers. Please don't do that. I would like to see you guys in the playoffs. It would be more entertaining if you guys were in the playoffs. Please don't blow this game on Monday night. Nick Foles gets the start for the Chargers. For the Colts, that's not good for the Chargers because Nick's going to bring some energy. Ultimately, the Chargers get the win, but I don't think it'll be pretty. I think it'll be dicey. It'll be like 23-20 Chargers. Close, competitive game. There is no thing close or competitive when it comes to the best holiday gift. It's myfrontpagestory.com, period. Trust me. I don't understand. I would actually like to get emails or tweets why you haven't gotten someone a story from myfrontpagestory.com. I guess some people don't like it as much as I do. I just think it's amazing. Big fan. Backofficescheduler.com, Vision Comics with an X, Evergreen Economics, go-bengals.com, steakhousesports.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing. Have an absolutely fantastic holiday weekend with your family. Some of us don't get a lot of family time on these weekends, so please have a cold one for me and hug your family for me. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.